Blaster, just take it up to the departure end of the runway, then a left turn and a lowest downwind. Cessna over the threshold, coming up on the white dot, at or beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face, you're following a Cessna down, low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final, runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Oh, we have one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see, what we got, a tricycle, put it down, tricycle, put it down, tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here, you click land on 9, all the way to the white dot, go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway and I might have to just send you around, that'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. You do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to re-sequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here. So just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, you're on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around.
Yeah, I can follow.
Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, three, two, one.
Hello.
Excuse me. Hello, everybody. How are you all? I'm having a bit of a frog in my throat there. I'm not quite sure what Italian frog is, but I should probably find out later. Welcome to this Thursday evening's live stream special. It is absolutely bloody packed tonight. So much to get through, you wouldn't believe it. In the green room, I can see African Eagle waiting there to tell us all the great things about Raduno and flying to Italy. I can see Simon, who's live, which must mean it's a great forecast for the weekend, and I still can't speak properly. But first, before further ado, actually, one other. I need to ask you a favour. Can you do us a favour? Go and hit the like button. And if you're not watching this live, leave some comments. It actually does help the channel. I know YouTubers say that, but it really does. So hit the like button for us. That will be good. Thank you very much. Right. More thanks to Sky Demon. Thank you very much, Sky Demon. And here is your weekly top tip.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Sky Demon, and this is this week's top tip.
If you're planning a longer journey, you may wish to break it up into shorter legs with one or more landing points along the way. For example, if you need to stop for fuel. First, plan the route as a whole. Then hold your finger on the airfield you want to add as an intermediate landing point and tap routing. Land here. The route is now divided into 2 sectors, each with its own pilot log, planned fuel, and virtual radar. The active sector is bolder and highlighted blue, and you can tap to change it. You can also change the landing to a different airfield if you need to, just by dragging it with your finger. To remove the landing point and rejoin the sectors back together into one route, bring up the What's Here menu and choose Routing. Do not land here.
For more information, go to our website, skydemon.aero.
That's cool. Didn't know that.
That will come in really, really handy if you're going all the way to Italy for the Raduno.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because there's not many of us who've got an airplane that can go from the UK to the middle of Italy without stopping for fuel somewhere, or definitely a pee.
Yeah, definitely. I would just go very quickly. Michael Wolf says, hello from sunny Batavia. And it's
Michael.
Yes. After 11 days of cloud, so Michael's over in the States. After 11 days of cloud and rain, he thought he was in the UK. It's not been that bad here, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Michael. And hello, and welcome to sunny Batavia.
Yes.
Michael, if you didn't know, Michael is president of Sporties. Thank you very much, Michael. Cool. Right.
Talking of weather, let's get the shirt on, but he doesn't have a bright shirt on tonight.
Right, let's see if I can do this bit.
Oh, that was all very smooth. That link then, Ed, that's very smooth. No, sorry, no bright shirt tonight. You're gonna have to put up with me the way that I am. How are we, chaps?
We're all good. How are you, Simon?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Fighting fit and raring to go, as they say. You said there 1p on the way to Italy. I think I need about 5 or 6. I think we just reached that age, don't we? Right. So flying for the weekend. Shall I get on with it? Flying for the weekend. Lots of cloud around this weekend. That's the main message. But we got high pressure close by. Look, down towards the south in the Bay of Biscay tomorrow. That's always good news because that means that any fronts that come through are likely to be fairly weak, but we could still find some low cloud. Let me just talk you through it. So this is tomorrow. Actually, Friday looking not to be a bad day. Isobars close together. Notice Northern England, Scotland, they really are close together. Could get gusts 45 knots in Scotland, perhaps 35 knots across Northern England. Got that cold front that you see across northwestern Scotland, just moving its way southeastwards. It's got a little bit of rain associated with it, but look at the cloud ceiling chart here. This is the forecast of cloud bases. Greens are 2,000 to 4,000 feet. Yellows are 1,000 to 2,000 feet. So think of the green and the white as good flying areas. The yellow, obviously, is much poorer. But you can see there that across much of the country, actually, it's not looking bad apart from those gusty westerly winds. And just be aware, sort of northeastern England, perhaps parts of the Midlands, could be quite turbulent, around 3,000-4,000 feet because of the bouncing air coming off the Pennines and the Welsh Mountains. Saturday looks like this, not quite so good. Warm front extending through Ireland, through parts of Wales. It's coming through the Midlands, East Anglia as well. Notice the cloud ceiling forecast here. Look how those yellow and orange colours have extended. That's low cloud. So low cloud, drizzle, some hill fog. It looks really bad. But having said that, there will be breaks. I think parts of the Midlands, East Anglia, central southern England, particularly seeing breaks in the cloud, possibly as well southern coast of England. So it's one, I think, not to be doing too far trips or trips of any distance, but actually it's not that bad overall. Just check out Form 215, keep a careful eye on those, just to see where those cloud bases lie. Much better Northern England. Notice the white colours there on the cloud ceiling forecast chart, but Northern England, Scotland looking much better for flying. Bases of 3,000 to 4,000 feet tops, probably about 8,000 feet, just a few showers across Western Scotland. Northern Ireland not bad as well on Saturday. Good visibility, Northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland through Saturday. And then Sunday, this is a bit of a tricky one because that darn front's still hanging around, but the question is, where is it? We've got it marked here on the chart across Northern Ireland, Northern England going into East Anglia, but the latest data now is suggesting it's a little bit further south. So I'd have to put a massive question mark over this and just say it's one to play by ear. I think somewhere along the line of the front, we probably are going to get bases 1,000 to 2,000 feet. Tops on that, probably about 8,000, 9,000 feet. Bits of drizzle, bits of outbreaks of rain. But I do think, again, the Midlands, East Anglia, southern parts of England seeing breaks in the cloud. But on Sunday, we are going to get thicker cloud coming into northwestern parts of Scotland. And that probably brings us bases about 2,000 to 4,000 feet with some showers at times. But eastern Scotland should fare better. So for me, Sunday's a real messy one. Saturday, yes, we've got that low cloud. Friday looks to be the best of the flying days. Now, we kicked off a new Aviation Weather School online this week, and I've just literally announced the dates for my next course. So this is going to be Aviation Weather School online. It's the Part 1 course, and it's presented entirely live by me. Another evening course between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. on the Tuesdays of the 12th and the 19th of March. Go to weatherschool.co.uk to book your place now. It'll be super to see you there. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you get some flying in. Sorry that was all a bit of a complex forecast, but I think for most of us, we are going to be able to fly at some point during this weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Don't go. There's a quick question there.
There's a question. What determines how certain you can be about the location of a front?
How much you pay me. And okay, so it changes all the time as to where it is. So I'm looking at lots more information than I've shown you there. So I've got sort of 64 charts here that I'm looking at, which give me an idea of where the front is, and it kind of comes to experience as well. So when I'm looking at a front like I looked at on Sunday, which you got it north or south, I kind of, from experience, look at it and think, yeah, it's not going to go that far north. It's going to be a little bit further south. So it's a little bit of guesswork. It's a little bit of the dark arts, and it's a little bit of computer stuff in there as well. See, I do get paid for something.
Very good.
Cool.
You're the big guy.
Well done.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Simon.
Have a great
See you next week, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Good
Very
stuff.
good.
Right, what's up next? Question of the week. That's what we're on now. This week's question, based on the fact that Shuttleworth have opened for the year, I think yesterday, because their grass is good. The question is your grass dry?
Ooh.
Or variations to that? So let us know in the comments.
How damp is your grass?
Yeah, how damp is your grass?
Fingers crossed, it's all drying out and starting to become nice and usable, which would be a very bloody good thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Particularly because the Fly 2024 challenge is up and running, and as the thread is already started on the forum. It's already up to 2 pages. Melanie Moxon, for instance, has posted a great account of and some great photos of a flight up in the northeast on a very crisp winter's day. Welsh Richie has told a tale of his plan for the year once his fractured shoulder has repaired enough to get his medical back. And African Eagle, Riccardo, who's in the green room waiting for a bit later in the show, he gave a fairly unnerving account of taking his 172 for its annual on a foggy day. So perhaps we'll hear more about that later.
Yeah, hopefully.
Johnny.
Yeah, Fly Club. So if you're not a member, you can join for £5 a month. We've got some new landing vouchers out now. So Roughworth East, which is basically in York, Leicester, Perth and Henstridge. And for £5 a month, you can get those, access to all the content, lots of other great discounts and things, including hopefully another one, which we'll be able to tell you about next week, which will be a discount on some flying stuff, or rather actual flying. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But join if you're not a member, join and like, comment, and subscribe to our
Absolutely.
YouTube channel.
If you get a wiggle on, you can join us for the webinar on night flying on the 20th of February as well. Plus, you get access to all of the back webinars that we've had. I think we must be up to 14 or 15 of them in there in the library now.
Yeah.
A number plus or minus 2 or 3. It's something like that. But there's a whole bunch of really good material. Frankly, just join. It's only £5 a month. Blimey. Is it time for the news?
I believe it is. And I think it might be
time for the news. Let me
Yes.
get my picture finger ready.
Oh, and this is a doozy, isn't it? Yes. So this is the news that China might be coming to Aero with an aeroplane. And we've seen the Chinese at Aero in the past, but this particular machine apparently is coming to Aero 2024. It's the hydrogen-powered Loning Ruxang RX4HE. And apparently they're going to bring it along and demonstrate it in a ground run. It's a 2-litre zero-emission supercharged direct injection hydrogen fuel engine developed by the Chinese FAW group, which is apparently based on the Honky petrol engine.
I have a couple of questions about this, Ed.
Just a couple. And that aeroplane raises my mind is on the edge of meltdown.
Before we get to that, do you think the registration for you is a kind of attempt to say they're going to be taking over from the Bonanza?
I don't know. I'm off you is how you feel after you see that aeroplane, I think.
I don't know. I mean,
I've never seen. It's an empennage and a half, and this thing is enormous. It's a 44-foot span, so you need a big old hangar, and it's like some of it's designed with the set square. It's like Fisher Price made an airplane.
What were they thinking when someone designed that tail?
I think they were clearly highly motivated about the engine, which is clearly if what they've done is what they say, then that's a great achievement. But the aeroplane is quite a wacky thing. So apparently it runs on 4.5 kilograms of highly pressurized hydrogen, because that's what you want in an aeroplane, highly pressurized hydrogen, and that gives 1 hour's endurance at 112 miles an hour with a 43% efficiency in that powertrain. Now, weirdly, we picked up on this because there's a news story floating around that it flew a couple of days ago. But then when we did some double checking in the just like the BBC do, it's like BBC verified now. Actually, there was news of this flying back in April last year. So not sure what's going on there. But at least the news story did say that it is going to Aero. But so we can look at that and hopefully it will be much prettier in the flesh, but I doubt it.
BBC verified. That's a bit like fly a Google. Is what we do. Isn't it?
Fly a Google. Yeah.
Just one more last thing about this. Have you seen the size of the outflow cooling gill work?
Oh, yeah.
Outflow. That is like that thing has got to be generating some serious heat to try and get rid of it.
The aeroplane is
water. Yeah, it's going to be water.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, the aeroplane it's based on it has a lot prettier nose than this. It doesn't make up for the rest of it, but
burning hydrogen generates loads of water, so that's going to be a tap basically.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Tell us about Bista, Dave.
Bista. Well, Bista, a bit of a shock news came through to some people who have their aircraft based at Bista, and apparently they've been given notice to get out of off the airfield by midsummer, sort of 30th of June. They're talking about, and I did speak to Bista Motion, people who run the aerodrome and the whole business there, and apparently they're going to be renovating the old hangar there, and they clearly want it to be empty because it's a big job to renovate it, but they're not going to be using it for hangarage afterwards. There's talk about an indoor kart racing track, which Bista Motion declined to say whether that was right or not, confirm, but that's the way it is. So Bista, they're going to still continue. They're very keen to promote the fact that they are continuing to operate as an airfield, which is just as well because the whole thing's listed and a scheduled monument. So it's a bit not quite sure where this is going at the moment.
And there's quite a few people who will be affected by that. So
yeah.
And we saw the email that got sent out to hangar residents, and on the one hand, it was like we've given you 3 months, you can always leave sooner if you find hangarage, and then it goes on to say later, we understand that finding a new location is difficult. It's like, well, don't give people 3 months.
Yes, interesting. It's not good. Amelia, the glider pilot, who we had on as a guest, a number of weeks, straight months ago, she, I believe, currently flies motor glider from Vista.
With motor glider Vista, doesn't she? Yeah.
There's a little motor glider school there, I believe. Not quite sure how that's going to be effective. We'll have to find out. Right. In other news, Garmin launched their first new avionics product of the year. I say first, could be the last for all I know. There may be more. I suspect there'll be more, given that we haven't even got to Aero or Oshkosh yet. And this is a couple of a new radio, and it's actually a slim fit radio. So basically, I don't know if you remember a little while ago, there was the SL30 and SL40, which were quite slim radios. You don't see them so much in the UK now because they're only 25 megahertz, not 8.33. So basically, people had to pull those out and put other ones in. And if you're trying to put a thicker one in, it's much harder. So Garmin have now come out with a couple of thin ones. You can get a Navcom and you can get just a com, and they're quite competitively priced. I had a look at, and it looks like they're going to be just under the price of the Trig, probably. Although I was kind of comparing American prices. So by the time we pay that, bring it over to the UK and get.
Because Trigger kind of cornered the market, hadn't they, in the SL30, SL40 refit?
But, I mean, if that's the size of the slot that you had in your panel.
Yeah.
Then you took the SL30, SL40 out. Then that's what you've really got to put in. The Trig, unless you want to remake the panel, and panel makeovers are subject to mission creep and end up costing huge amounts of money, etc., etc. So now I think Garmin have gone, actually, we're going to do this and we're going to put it in. And these are kind of configurable between 8.33 and 25 megahertz, depending kilohertz. Bananas, whatever they are.
It looks nice. It's a good look here with a lot of functions.
I can see one coming to an airplane that I'm quite familiar with that isn't the 182 before too long. They should be available from March onwards, so that's good news there.
Perfect timing for sun and fun.
Yes.
Me next, this is there's news that the General Aviation Alliance has announced its latest white paper on EC, and they say they support widespread adoption and integration of electronic conspicuity across all general aviation. And one of the key things here is that they say that all the costs associated of the creation and running of the system should be paid for by the new aviation activities that it's been created to enable, which of course we all know is all about drones. So there's like 12 or 13 points. I won't list them all out, but GAA go on to say that it must be fully compatible with existing aviation, must not introduce extra risks, and use existing forms of EC. Make use of everything that's been funded so far. But definitely the key thing there is the fact that it's going, hello, drone community. Perhaps you'd like to fund this.
I think it was kind of an interesting thing because that's the first time I've seen, I think, kind of the GA or any other grouping basically come out and say, okay, we're in favour of everybody equipping with EC. And that's a completely different argument and discussion that's not really for the news. But it's the first time I've seen the GA kind of, and I think they've kind of said, okay, force it on us, we'll take it, but you got to pay for it.
That's it. Yeah.
So
they basically say all aircraft need to be electronically visible, and this is to enable the drone community to have beyond visual line of sight operation. So,
well, with all the money floating around the drone industry, they'd probably say, "Great, here's the dosh. Get on with it."
Yeah. Can I just make a little side comment here while I'm here?
Absolutely.
I know this. I don't mean this to be unpatriotic, but here we are in this supposedly cutting edge world of drones and technology and eVTOLs and taking stuff all over the place. And there's a UK design one for a trial. It looks like that. Jesus, you could put that in black and white, and it still wouldn't look out of place. I mean, seriously?
I'm glad we've seen that, because I've now figured out that's where the Chinese. Really, it's like it's brother from brother from the same mother almost. So.
Yeah, but that's brother from a test tube or something. I know where it's from. But, you got things like Blackfire, whatever it's called these days. You've got the Hill helicopter, which is like super funky. There's all sorts of amazing aircraft and stuff, and we come up with something and go, "Oh my word, what were they thinking?"
You can definitely say, this is not an Italian drone, is it? This is not.
No, it's definitely not Italian.
Pininfarina have not had any input on that.
No. Styled by Bert.
Yeah, plastic, maybe not Pininfarina. Yeah.
So, free steerman, anybody?
Please.
Just one attached. One thing, you've got to buy this hotel. Glenfall's a hotel, which went up for sale last year. But I was speaking to Brendan Walsh, who's currently the owner, along with his wife Alison, and they're making an attempt to try and find somebody to buy it who loves aviation. Brendan cited the example to me of a BA pilot who's just retired, but a healthy pension pot, and and obviously loves aviation. It's important to say that the hotel and the airfield are actually different things, and Brendan intends to keep running the airfield himself, at least for a while. But he's offered his steerman as an incentive to buy the hotel.
It's a great place, isn't it? It is a great place.
Yeah.
Julie, hasn't your dad recently retired?
Yeah, him and half the BA pilots.
Yeah,
there's loads of them knocking around.
I hate to say this, it is a great place, but I think the fact that the strip and the hotel are separate and separately controlled is probably one of the reasons. If you're a hotelier with no interest in aviation, you probably think, "Oh my God, there's this bloody runway. What the hell am I going to do with that?" And if you're a BA pilot, then you think, "Oh, it'll be like aviation paradise," but actually, I haven't got control over that. And what happens with it? I'm not sure.
Well, the thing is, the airfield is actually owned by the local council, and Brendan did a good job on sorting it out, and so he's got the lease. He's got the operating lease on the airfield. So I dare say, in some time in the future, there's a deal to be done. But first thing is to get the hotel sold.
It's only $1.5 million, isn't it?
$1.5 million, which according to Brendan is a turnover for 6 months of the year of the year that they're in operation.
Wow, and it is a beautiful spot.
Yeah, fantastic place.
Turn over his vanity, profit sanity, cash is king. What do I say? Really good.
Yeah, next up, so another airfield story, Plymouth. The battle is still kind of raging for Plymouth. So the Plymouth City Council want to reopen the airport, but Sutton Harbour Group have, for various reasons, been digging their heels in. The council now have accused Sutton Harbour Group of breaching its lease conditions, e.g. not operating the airport as an airport. And last week, they sent them a legal letter asking them to confirm if they will comply with those lease conditions. Sutton Harbour Group have apparently acknowledged receiving the letter, but are sort of basically kicking the can down the road a bit and playing for time, because there's a 5-year safeguarding clause that ends in March. So basically, this is just things are getting more legal. Plymouth City Council it sounds like they're doing a good job in actually grabbing SHG by the scruff of the neck and trying to get some answers out of them. But I think we'll see more throughout the year when these legal proceedings actually start happening.
Do you think SHG? So do you think they're going? What do you reckon? Should we have a Joe Dell fly in?
It's very complicated because Sutton Harbour Group is a big company in Plymouth. I mean, Sutton Harbour is the old harbour that's is in the centre of Plymouth, and they've got lots of developments along the seafront. So they're a big deal in Plymouth. It's not easy for the city council to take them on and win, for sure. That's as a local resident of the area.
I just got a quick story here because there was an email dropped in my inbox and probably quite a few other people's inbox as well, giving the Civil Aviation Authority's GA unit their kind of like their update on their Q4 activities for 2023. Frankly, there's kind of like, it was just like, blah, we did a survey, blah, we did some carbon monoxide stuff, blah, we did a consultation, blah, we got a proposal, blah, blah, blah. And really, but there's nothing really that I think's that interesting in here. I just kind of put the story in because it gives me an excuse of showing the picture. Along with the press release, every press release has to have a picture. Along with the press release came this picture with particularly this caption. And
that's cool to know.
Wow, look at that.
It's an aeroplane. That's an airfield. Yep. I feel they could have gone further. They could have said there's a windsock in the back and it's a sunny day.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I thought it was quite funny. But there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. You're there.
Yeah, so the final one, we've got a picture from Piper, which they've released, which is a bit of a tease image for something that's coming next week. I think it's the 6th or the 7th that they're announcing. They're using a hashtag Unleash the Legacy. So this must be called, have the word legacy in it. There's a few theories out there. People have already spotted that there's potentially 2 airplanes registered as M700s.
Okay. And it's got that's definitely the M600 profile. It's the M600 wing with the radome on it. So
yeah. So there's lots of chat on Facebook groups about the image, and if you look on the Piper's Facebook posts and tweets, you can see people discussing it. So, but curiously, Piper also posted on the 30th of January just an image of a volcano and a lava flow with no caption.
Maybe they found the future energy source. It's not going to be leaded fuel or hydrogen. It's the new Piper powered by lava.
I'm not sure how I feel about that slogan, Unleash the Legacy. I mean, is it going to be like an M700 with round dials instead of screens or something?
Yes, it'll have a little hatch in the roof so that you can get your sextant out and do a star transit or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Cool. Right. We've got a few more very short news stories to run our way through. Don't think we got any particular pictures for those. So,
nope. I'm just going to quickly run through these. We've already mentioned Old Warden saying we're open. They are actually saying it's only open at the moment to visiting aircraft with light wheel loading, such as a Piper Cub or a Tiger Moth. Barton is celebrating, Barton Aerodrome that is celebrating its 90th anniversary at the moment. A Gypsy Moth that was featured in the film Out of Africa is up for auction. There it is there. It's supposed to somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 apparently. And just lastly, a reminder that the consultation for the local plan that involves Popham Airfield is open. There's a link somewhere. Certainly there's a story on Flyer. If you want to contribute to that consultation, now's the time to get in there and do so.
Brilliant.
There's the link. Yeah. LPU being local plan update.
Cool. Just before we head over to Riccardo for news of the Raduno, we saved a little special Italian segment of the news. So the first bit of news is that the EAA announced that the world's best jet display team will be at Oshkosh next year displaying. So Frankie Tricolori, hello Oshkosh. That's going to be stunning. I am so looking forward to that. That'll be brilliant.
Excuse me. I've got Squadron Leader Herbert Gussett of Tunbridge Wells on the phone. He's asking, surely you mean the Red Arrows are the best display team in the world?
No, I said the best jet display team. The Red Arrows are okay. You can't take it away from them.
1986 was the last time that the Freckie Tricolori were at Oshkosh. So,
and nobody from the team can remember just how bad the coffee is throughout the showgrounds. So they've come back again.
They're going back. Annabelle's very serious about this. They are indeed the best in uppercase.
They are. There's no denying it. But better still, and did I upload the picture or did I forget? Oh no, where is it? There it is. The Italians have invented flying and drinking. So, and this is a story. This is a story of Florence Airport I'm not entirely sure that's a genuine photo, but they're basically, I think you're going to put vineyards on the hangar roof. So you can fly in and buy the wine made on the hangar roof or the terminal roof or something, and then fly out again, I think. So I think that's a great idea.
That's it.
Good.
Absolutely. So there you go. Well, we get done all that. I think it probably is time to bring African Eagle on. Hang on a second. Let me just
change hats.
Change hats. There you go.
Good evening. Buonasera.
Buonasera. How are you doing, Riccardo?
I'm doing fine. I
Really
bet you
good.
Ian had a heart attack because you didn't see me connecting in time.
A little bit of a heart attack, yeah. In fact, I fired up in another window that you can't see, ChatGPT, and I was going to get translated into Italian some phrase to put in the comments going, Riccardo, where the are you? But then I saw you join, and I didn't have to get
everything
the
sorted out.
Yeah. So, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you.
Thank you for that
not keeping
invite.
You from your wine or your food.
For the moment, it's just wine. Dinner will be later.
Okay. Jolly good. We were talking about this earlier, and we were trying to say, the Raduno. Well, let's start with one question. Yeah, tell us what Raduno means in Italian.
Raduno means a meeting, grouping of people. So in Italian, you have a Raduno with motorbikes, a Raduno with cars. So it's a get-together of people with a similar passion, a similar hobby.
Okay, so it's not like a business meeting. You wouldn't have a board Raduno or something.
Negative. No, you would never have. It's not business. It's just fun.
Just fun. Jolly good. And when was the first Raduno? You remember?
The first Raduno was back in 2002. It came about because I was in Italy. I was a club member. I didn't have my own airplane. And looking at the flyer list at that time and also at the flyer forum, I saw that in the UK, every weekend, there were lots of meetings or gatherings on fly-ins. And there weren't very many in Italy at that time. And also, I didn't have an airplane to go around. So I thought, since I can't go there, I'll organize it here. And I just put out announcements on the flyer list at the beginning. And 5 airplanes turned up at Sabaudia, which is an airstrip some 80 kilometers south of Rome. And we had airplane from Scotland, 3 from England, and 1 from France.
Wow.
And I enjoyed myself very much. I met lots of new friends. And so I decided to organize it every 4 years, every year that the World Cup, the Football World Cup, was to be held. And so we had a second one in 2006. That was also near Latina, where I live, because that made it easy for me to organize hotels, logistics, because the biggest part of organizing a Raduno is not flying in people or having food ready. It's moving them around once they're on the ground. That's the hard part. So I had the second one was at Aprilia, landed in a farmer's field, a legal farmer's field. And I remember after the dinner, the first dinner, going back to the airfield and sleeping in the car just to keep an eye on all the airplanes that time. I was terrified something would happen, so I wanted to be sure everything was okay.
I hadn't realised about the whole football, the World Cup thing, and I've just quickly had a look. And in fact, 2006 was the last time that Italy won the World Cup. Apparently.
Yes. So then we went every 2 years.
And then we went every 2 years.
No, we went every 2 years because I saw that lots of the participants kept asking me, when's the next Raduno, when's the next Raduno? So I figured out, okay, it's fun. I enjoy myself. I see everybody else enjoys coming. So I started doing it every 2 years. So we had Raduno 2002, 2006. No, the last one was 2010. That was Monticchio in Tuscany. And Then we had 2012 and 2014 at San Sepolcro, also in Tuscany. And that really made people want to carry on coming. In fact, many of the participants have come once, have come twice, have come 3 times. And so it's become nearly a fixed date every 2 years.
And I believe there's the date for the next one as well.
Sorry?
I said, I believe, talking about a fixed date for every 2 years, I believe the date for the next one, which is this year, 2024, has been announced.
Yes, its arrival on Wednesday, the 19th of June.
Yep.
Destination
and we're going to. I say we're. I'm probably going to pop along. We're going to Aquila.
Yes,
is that right? And
that's airport in central Italy. Yes, so one of the. Carry on. Okay. Now, one of the things I always try to keep in mind when I organize it is to find a place that is out of the usual tourist routes, somewhere where you wouldn't be able to go with Ryanair, or you would never think of. So that's the first thing. Then I have to figure out all the logistics, because you need a decent runway. You have to have fuel available, if not available on the field, nearby. Then you have to be able to organize ground transport, hotels, and so on. And there's lots of aviosuperfici in Italy, which are airstrips. Most of them are grass, which are nice and easy because you just land and you can do what you want. If you start going to the airports, it becomes quite a hassle, because they want to have all the paperwork. Let me put my head straight. All the paperwork done, and it takes a lot of time with bureaucratic issues. So always try to find an aviosuperfici or a small general aviation airport, which doesn't require too much paperwork. And L'Aquila this year fits it perfectly. It's in central Italy, in the mountains, in the middle of the Apennines. It's got a long runway. It's got fuel. It's very easy from a periodic point of view, and also it should be a good location to go and have some visits. I always try to add a bit of culture, a bit of nature, and of course lots of food.
So I have some pictures here of previous Radunos that I'm just going to run through. You might be able to remind us when they are. And they kind of give a flavour for some of the stuff that tends to go on at them, which is I don't know where you get the nature and the other stuff, because it seems to me that it's mainly about food and drink, really.
This was San Marino.
San Marino,
previous Raduno. This was a pre-dinner drink.
Yeah, that was San Marino as well, I believe.
You can see the nature.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can see the nature from the airplane. The Principality of San Marino has one airfield in it, which is a beautiful, or at least at the time, it was a beautiful sloping grass airfield. I know they were talking about tarmac at some point.
Yes, hopefully they won't get around to doing it.
No, hopefully not. That's a beautiful. And I have to say, that is just one of those beautiful little airfields with a nice little clubhouse. Somebody on the radio, maybe. Stunning scenery around it, and a jolly good place. Then we got, I think that was a different one. I'm not sure.
This was San Sepolcro, the first edition of San Sepolcro, and we were lucky because we happened to arrive when they had the dinner with 1,000 plates. So basically, the San Sepolcro, in the center of the village, they laid out a table with 1,000 places to eat. And all the various restaurants contributed, depending on at what length of the table they were, with their specialities.
Fantastic. And if you look carefully in the sort of midway down the table, you see the late and very great Keith Gillings in there.
Yes, Keith loved coming to San Sepolcro. He
Absolutely.
really enjoyed it. There are a couple of photos I have that show him with the owner of the airfield having our after-dinner drink. And
we'll come to the after dinner drink in a minute. I have a bottle of that somewhere. Maybe this is the nature you were talking about. I'm not quite sure who that is coming out of the nature.
I think
facilities.
that's Dave.
I think it probably is Dave. You're right. Yeah. And and how this is generally how they start, isn't it?
This was Elba, 2018. One thing I try to organize, and I see that it works quite well, is to have people arrive at the airport and have a light lunch at the airfield.
Yeah.
And this was at Elba. We organized drinks and snacks, and then we had the lunch. And basically, the way the Raduno works is you arrive at the airport. Everybody can arrive more or less when they want. There's no definite timeline. And then once everybody is safely on the ground, we relax. In the evening, we have a big dinner. And then the following day, we do a bit of culture. We go somewhere to see the nature or the antiques or whatever is available. We have a light lunch. We have a pizza in the evening. And then on the third day, or we move to another airport, or we more or less disabandon.
And I think many of them, and certainly this one again in April, will end up with a bit of like, okay, there's a really tough quiz here. Who can figure out where this is? Okay, not that hard. But they pretty much, all of them tend to have some kind of ability, if you want to, just to pop into Venice Lido, which is, it's quite possibly the best grass. Well, it's not, not the best grass, but quite possibly one of the best iconic general aviation airports of the world, which is, just as you fly in over the Lido and fly down, it's a spectacular place. And you can, if you're feeling flush, you can grab a taxi into town.
Yes, but since I've seen that there's lots of passion, lots of interest, everybody wants to go to Venice. These last 2 or 3 Radunos have been organized in such a way that we end up near Venice. So who has been there before can go again. Who has never been there has a chance to go there. And in these last 2 editions, I always tend to organize the Raduno the week before the Historical Aircraft Group Fly Party, which is at Bagnoli, near Padua, which is some 15-20 minutes flight from Venice. So people tend to arrive on a Wednesday. Thursday, we just laze around and go places with a bus and go see things. Then on the Friday, we tend to fly towards Venice, and then everybody can organize themselves as they prefer. If they want to spend a day or 2 in Venice, or if they want to come to Bagnoli and follow me doing something else. Let's say it's very easy in the second part, because I know people love to come to Venice, and Venice, I believe, is one of the best airports you can fly into. Because it's easy, glass, 1930 architecture. And of course, there are some people that I know that jump off the airplane, jump onto the speedboat, and go to St. Marco's Square for drinks.
I've done that.
Not sure who that was, but it was. I'm not sure who that was, but Dave White was involved, and Mark Saunders for sure. But no, it's an absolutely fantastic. And I think so those people who've been to Raduno, they kind of understand it and they know it. But it's not really it's not a cliquey thing at all. It's not kind of a closed group. It really is open to everybody.
No, that's a nice thing. In every edition, new people come along. I've met so many people that I've lost count of how many pilots have participated in the Radunos. I think we're in the order of 50 to 60 different individuals. Some have come more often and have also become very good friends. But every year there are new entries, which is fantastic. I mean, the aim of the Raduno started off as me wanting to meet people and not being able to go places because I didn't have an airplane. And now it's become a way to show Italy to people who like to fly and give them the opportunity to see something that they would normally not see if they went with a tourist agency or with an airliner. And every time it's new people, new friends, normally lots of fun. And
and I think in
I see it works.
2020,
I think I'll carry on doing it like this. You learn something every time, but basically it seems to be appreciated.
Ian, for people thinking of doing it this year, you've flown down there from here. What sort of flight times are people looking at?
I mean, I think generally people will plan to stop somewhere on the way, not just for a fuel and a quick pee, but for an overnight somewhere on the way. And there's some kind of people talk about it on the forum and get together, and there's some kind of informal stuff where people might meet up at a couple of airfields on the way. I think Mark Iceman had some problem with his trousered undercarriage. He couldn't get it up, or maybe it was he couldn't get it down. I can't remember, one of the two. And so he had to abandon his aeroplane. Unfortunately, Dave White then picked him up and gave him a lift in his Jodel. So there's a kind of semi-social thing that starts. And I think one year that might have even started in Cannes or something. But I have to say, a couple of pictures here. Flying down is just absolutely bloody spectacular. It's just stunning countryside. And of course, again, not wishing to be unpatriotic, but when you fly through France, you suddenly realise just how easy flying can be. And even in Italy, which is not always the easiest place for flying, it's pretty relaxed. And sort of going from Bagnoli, which is an amazing grass airfield with something like a 1,200-metre grass strip, I think. Huge grass strip. Flying from there to Venice, Lido, it's just 20 minutes of just pure joy. You can have a chat to someone on the radio or not if you really don't want to. You can talk to the people at Lido. Lido's actually the air traffic, or the FISO at Lido, go home on Tuesdays. So there were people going, "Oh, what are we going to do if we want to leave on Tuesday?" And we go, "Well, I'm not here, but you can still fly. You don't need me. Off you go."
Yes. They close at 5 o'clock. So after 5 o'clock in the evening, you just take off. Just land court and off you go.
They're super relaxing. So that it's actually really, it's one of those things that's just like reinforces the magic carpet of flying. Kind of take off from somewhere a bit that you're very familiar with, shall we say, and you end up in these new places. But it's so easy. Once you've done it, you go, "Oh my god, it really is that easy." Everyone pretended it was hard, but it's not. And super friendly, and lots of help given between people about, "Oh, I'm going to go this way, the weather's," etc. So no, it's a very good aerial.
Ian, I just wanted to say, I saw one of the questions. What has been the slowest airplane to fly to the Raduno? I believe it's a PA-22 Colt.
Yes.
Which came to the first Raduno and then came also to the second one. I believe that's the slowest aircraft. In the meantime, we've also had turboprops coming in. So there's no limit to the aircraft. I mean, it's...
I think on one of the early ones, Andy Rehorn, who some will know from the forum, flew all the way to Italy in a 150 with Timothy Nathan. Now,
yes, a heavy C-150.
I mean, Andy, chapeau. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the flying is super easy, and if you've got any concerns, just get in touch with anyone on the forum who's done it before, and they'll explain just how easy and simple it is. And I think, particularly if you enjoy food, a little bit of wine, it's lovely. I think probably the best meal I've ever had in my life was on one of the Radunos in the Agriturismo one night. Although that might have been because I drank too much, I can't remember.
No, I think I remember that one, Ian. That after the starters, somebody said, "Have we finished?" I said, "No, we've just started."
It was one of those meals where there was just bringing literally plate after plate after plate, and every plate was just amazing. It was like There's more. It was stunning, and I think at the end of every meal in Italy, I'm sure they do this all day, every day. Italians, yeah, there's a grappa, and so Riccardo had a rather large bottle of grappa.
Wow.
He was still standing after drinking that. Hey, Riccardo.
So,
I'm not sure what that noise is there, but anyway, yeah. So fantastic thing. So, how many people? I mean, I guess the serious point is for you. If you have 20 people, it's a large chunk of work. If you have significantly more, it gets even harder finding restaurants and transport and hotels.
Yeah. It depends on the location. This year, being at L'Aquila and having also the right contacts, because if I do it around my area where I live, I can go personally and check everything 5 times. I remember when I did the fly in the Raduno in Ziago, which is up in the Alps, I did everything via email and telephone calls. So I was quite upset. And we had, I believe, 15 airplanes on that occasion.
Yeah.
But depending, this year at L'Aquila, currently 9 participants, 9 airplanes have said their intention is to come. And I believe that up to 20, 25 airplanes will be no problem, considering the location, because it's easier. It's not a grass field in the middle of the countryside. So it's a bit more easier for me.
Talking of grass fields in the middle of the countryside, can I put in a huge thanks to not only to you for organising it, but to the Historic Aviation Group at Bagnoli. That weekend is a big party and fly-in with lots of historic aircraft performing. There's music in the evenings. Last year there was a guy who brought along a range of aviation beer. There was food. There was everything.
This year the way it is on a Friday, we leave L'Aquila and we fly towards Venice, and then at that point people can decide if they want to spend the weekend or in Venice, but they can always fly in on a Saturday or on a Sunday to see the air show. This year is the 20th anniversary of the Historical Aircraft Group, and we're having a proper air show, so it should be a bit more than usual.
It's an absolutely spectacular place, and just some really amazing aircraft. But it's so friendly and so relaxed, and be there or be somewhere else.
It's very informal, very easy. It's also because basically we are all friends.
Yeah.
Most of us know each other, so it's always good fun.
Yeah, but I don't think I've been involved in, even when we went to San Marino, we suddenly sort of go into the club room and found that they'd cooked up this meal, and everything is just super relaxed and super friendly and brilliant, really.
Oh, we meant to have fun. That's the point.
Absolutely. So if anyone out there is thinking about it and looking at it thinking that's a bit of a long way, then just break it down to a couple of days. Come on over. Great fun. Have a fantastic time. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Cool. Any more tips for you? If you're a member, then you can go and look at the webinar series. There's a webinar series where African Eagle Riccardo explains to everybody exactly how you fly in Italy.
So, flying in Italy is quite simple. They just want to know a couple of points on the radio, but otherwise it's straightforward. When you look at the charts, it seems that it's complicated, but the same for me. If I look at the British chart, I think, oh gosh, I'll never fly there. And then when I did fly, I took off from Leicester, I think it was, lost my radio, and then just went straight to France with no problem.
Yeah.
So
that's the way to do it.
Now, once you're in the air, it's easy.
Yeah.
You just have to take off.
Yep. No, very true. Very true. Well, thank you very much, Riccardo. If anyone wants to know more, there's a thread on the forum, and I think we put the link up several times, and that's okay. Take a look. If you're thinking about it, just come along and have fun. I mean, you have to come along and be prepared to be relaxed and to have fun. If you're the kind of person who's comes along and go, Riccardo, it's 9 o'clock. The coach hasn't left yet. What's going on? This is not good enough. Then you probably better stay at home, I would say.
That's the spirit. Just relax and enjoy.
Relax and enjoy. Everything will be fine. Relax and enjoy.
Great.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Riccardo.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Riccardo.
And hope to see you all this coming June.
I'll be there. I'll be there for sure. I hope to see you in England flying around again with a radio this time.
Hopefully.
Fantastic. Must be topical. Fantasy hangar. Yeah, great flight. Great flight. Looks like a great flight. And I guess if you haven't gone overseas, that might be a good reason to go and do it.
And if for whatever reason, if you haven't got an airplane or you can't book an airplane or anything like that, and you still really want to go to this historic aviation thing, which really is just a super friendly kind of thing, you can sneak a flight to Venice on EasyJet and then grab a car.
Yeah.
It's really not very far. And well worth a visit. But fly if you can.
Yeah, and check out the forum thread, because there will almost certainly be, I'm sure, people going, may have a spare seat or two. So you never know.
You never know.
So fancy hangar this week. We heard that the Gypsy Moth from out of Africa is up for auction. So we thought, hey, let's pick moths, our favourite moths. Oh, Johnny's gone. He's like,
I'm here. Don't worry.
his moth just gone out. He's gone again. So we would pick our favourite moths for our fancy hangar. So who's first?
Johnny.
No. Quick, get him done before he goes.
Johnny first. Get him done. No.
Replace him with his moth. Are you there, Johnny?
Okay, Johnny, are you ready for this?
My video might be a bit laggy, but go.
Over to you.
Right, I've gone for not the prettiest, but I've gone for the fox moth. Because it's kind of one of the most practical ones, because you can stick 4 friends in the front. You get to do a bit, depending on which one you get to do a bit of open cockpit flying. And there's a tiny little porthole that you can look through to check everyone's not throwing up in there. But I think it's quite. For me, it was this or the giant moth, which I think should have been called the massive moth.
Yes, they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, they did. But apparently, so I was doing some reading about them. There's 6 in the UK, or 6 registered in the UK. There's 1 being restored in the USA. There's 3 in New Zealand, 2 in Australia, and 1 in Canada. So they're pretty rare. Obviously not the rarest, but
there was, and you might recall there was 1 for sale when we were doing our last classified stroll, and 1 had popped up for sale. It was cheap by de Havilland terms. It was like 60 grand or something. May still be for sale. You never know.
I mean, I think it's better looking than this.
I have a desk that looks better than that.
Not much.
And to be fair, there we go. See, that is a pretty, and the sliding canopy ones look even better than the open cockpit ones. I think that's a nice biplane. So very good. Who's next?
Yeah, I think Dave should have gone first, but he tried to get Johnny in before he squelched his way out.
Well, I guess you're going to say I'm the boring one, because I've just gone for a very straightforward Tiger Moth. Mainly because it's the only one I've ever flown, and I just loved it. It was just it's a period aeroplane. It feels like if you've ever driven an early 30s, late 20s Austin 7, for instance, it's very similar in its feel and look and smell, and it's just a lovely aeroplane. I wouldn't want to do too many aerobatics in it. The idea of doing aerobatics in an aeroplane that's older than me, given how fragile I am. It just doesn't appeal, but just flying low and slow is in a Tiger Moth, and of course every time you arrive somewhere in a bright yellow aeroplane, which quite a few of them are, you get noticed.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess you could call that a vanilla choice, couldn't you?
Go on then, Ian. Hit us with your moth.
Well, I went for this one. Original Gypsy Moth on floats, and I didn't go for it because I think it looks particularly stunning, or I think it's got a little something about it. and this one doesn't look like it's been mollycoddled all its life and polished to within an inch of its life. It just looks like it's a good used functional airplane. But I chose this because quite a few years ago now, I read the Sir Francis Chichester book about his life and his kind of flight down to New Zealand, across the Tasman Sea. And I was just so amazed that he made that. I mean, he didn't have an easy time with that flight, for sure. And across the Tasman Sea, he basically needed to be able to guarantee to land off the coast of an island where there was some fuel. Otherwise, he was basically dead.
And he navigated. Sorry, he navigated using a sextant as well.
I know. Well, in the book, there's a kind of reproduction of his flight log that he created in the airplane as he was flying up. There you go, lonely sea and sky, and it's just got like immaculate kind of copper plate writing and angles and all sorts of malarkey. And you think, geez, you actually did that. Well, he was flying the kind of thing. Sometimes I would hold my iPad still enough to type some stuff in, let alone take a bloody star shot.
The nice thing about a gypsy moth is you can reach out and set fire to your arm.
Yes, presumably light a cigarette or something. So that was my choice, because that kind of encapsulates for me not only the era but the kind of just the things you can do with that airplane.
The gypsy moth is quintessentially moth.
It is. And if anyone hasn't read that book, seriously, go take a read. You won't be disappointed. If you read it and you hate it, I'll refund you myself.
Yeah, as Dave White says, he used its own nav method that no one else had proven. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. So that just leaves me. And I've gone for something that you might not have known about, and that is the wonderful Moth Miner Coupe. So the de Havilland had the DH-94 Moth Miner in the 1930s, a two-seat Tourer trainer. It was designed to be a simpler personal aeroplane for people than the multi-winged Moth. It was £575. Don't show that right there. £575. And 100 examples were built before the outbreak of the Second World War. So that's about 45k in today's money. The Moth Miner production moved to de Havilland, Australia. But 9 Moth Miner coupes were built like this. So there was a 2-seat open cockpit one, but there was also a 2-seat coupe version. So 9 of these were made, had this lovely hinge coupe top. I just think it's like a little Miles.
I was going to say, when did the Miles come along?
The Whitney Straight, it looks like it's like a slightly slimmer Whitney Straight. I'm guessing it might have been earlier. It's almost like they were inspired, but I think that's just pretty. That's I could really do that. And of course, it's classic fancy hangar. People go, what is that?
Yeah, I think so. So what have we got in the comments then?
Clearly, we've got Ed Wins. But we've also got an Ian wins and Ed second. I was going to pick Dave, closely followed by Johnny, but yeah, Ed wins. Kankin says it's a bit like a BA Eagle. It is a little bit smaller. Nice Ed, but not on floats. De Havilland wins. Well, yeah. Oh, Chris Winch. I have to be biased, but Chris actually has is someone with an actual Moth.
Yeah.
Ian wins the floats. Ian wins. Ian, you may have, with your use of floats, you may have won. Yeah. Oh, Ed's done it again. Ed wins. I might be challenging here. So.
I want to give a shout out to Chris Winch and the Hornet Moth. There was a Hornet Moth in the hangar at Kemble when I was based there, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I did think one day I wouldn't mind a Hornet Moth. I think I've moved on from that personally now. But
they are lovely. Chris won't mind me saying that their Hornet Moth it's got a certain patina, but it's done a lot of flying. And Chris really, I think he went through he might correct me if I'm wrong here. I think he went through 1,000 hours in the Hornet Moth last year. He flies a few other airplanes, but Chris really uses that Hornet Moth. So
I like the way you described that, a certain patina.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it does get a lot of use, that particular Hornet Moth. Then it is a great airplane. Of course, you can fold the wings and fit it into Yeah, the next question for you.
Yeah, I've always loved in the Hornet Moth, and this is my nerdity coming out, but you can turn the undercarriage fairings to act as air brakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
What was the first airplane with folding wings, Ed?
I don't know.
I don't either. It was just a question.
No, I'm not sure. I'm guessing maybe a moth.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. I think Michael Wolf appears to have voted for you twice there, Johnny, but I don't think we can count that, Michael.
Yeah, there's like two there. Two.
That doesn't work. Right, jolly good. Should we call that as a win for de Havilland, or are we going to be?
I think we'll definitely say that's a win for de Havilland.
Yeah, there's not a bad one there apart from Johnny's one, which was ugly. But there you go. There you go. Right,
Events. Well, there's not a lot on, apart from Gasco safety evenings, which are coming thick and fast at the moment. Details are all on the website. The next flying I could see was on the 19th of February, which is the 80th anniversary of Sandtoft Airfield. So that's coming up.
Okay. So otherwise, just safety evenings. And there was a shout out in the comments before we went live, I think, or maybe just after, from someone who'd watched the Astral Aviation thing on Beyond the PPL today and said it was really good and worth a watch.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. And of course, the best thing for Beyond the PPL is to come to the Raduno. I would say. I'm not saying that it's not a flying where people make money. It's not a business kind of thing. It's just
Sounds like
fun.
great.
Rekindle that pure aviation spirit. Good. Right. I think we're done now. I will see you next Wednesday, as will Ed. Have a great weekend flying. I kind of think that there might be some flying from that forecast. But
it looks like it.
It looks like it. So have a good one. Fly safe. And if you're not a member, join. And if you really can't afford the £5 a month, that's okay. But hit like instead or something. Do that. Do us a favor. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.